Jeff Petty, the author of Evidence-Based Teaching, talked about teaching embarking on a revolution. And there's a lot of evidence to support him on this. Perhaps most significant is John Hattie's 15-year 800 meta-analysis of the influences of learning on student attainment. And John didn't just look at what factors had high impact on student attainment, but to actually assess the level of impact of these things, which he referred to as effect size. So let's see what he means. Now let's take as a baseline an effect size of 1.0 standard deviation is pretty big. Could say it's massive and associated with advancing the learner's achievement by a year, rate of learning by 50%, and if you're familiar with the UK system, 2 grade leap in GCSE grades. Now, let's have a bit of comparison here. Students will typically move up by 0.40 in terms of effect size. So any method or combination of methods that exceed this is going to be pretty good in enhancing learner attainment. Now, here's some examples from Hattie's long list, and you'll notice that the second most powerful influence is feedback. And it's certainly the case that good feedback from teachers, peers, even from self, has a big impact on learner attainment. Whole class interactive teaching, which is a more teacher-led in terms of providing structure, but incorporating lots of active learning methods. Very high effect size. Combining study skills, thinking skills, and infusing this into the subject content strategy training, also high effect size. Giving students challenging goals, but achievable with effort. Making those goals visible, meaningful, pretty good effect size. Even something like an advanced organizer, which is a small activity at the beginning of a session, has an effect size over 0.40. So let's make some summative points here. Great analogy from John Hattie, and Jeff Petty uses it also, and he talks about, or they talk about Russian dolls, not Maria Sharapova or some of the other Russian players, but essentially Russian dolls are dolls of varying sizes that can be assembled into one structure. In terms of the analogy for teaching is when you can take methods that have good effect sizes and you combine them into one powerful instructional strategy, you've created a pedagogical Russian doll, if you like. And if you bring in some e-tools that enhance the learning process, you're getting pretty near to being a very creative teacher, in my opinion. And finally, it's not just the effect size, but the ease and quickness of using these things. For example, advanced organizers mentioned on the previous slide. Effect size 0.46, not that massive, only takes a few minutes to implement, but potentially offers almost a grade improvement in student achievement.